Hey guys, welcome back. Once again, here's a look at most of the mods that were released within the past week or so for both Forge and Fabric, using Minecraft 1.16.4. After the new year, I'm going to try and start uploading 2 videos every week, with some videos also covering Minecraft 1.12.2, as well as texture packs and shaders. So, I hope you'll stick around for that. With that in mind, let's look at the mods. If you're familiar with the Polish cow meme, then you might get a laugh out of this mod. Feed a cow some sugar, and they'll do the dance from the meme, before dying and dropping their loot. The song will also play in the background, which I'll leave muted to avoid a copyright strike. Minecraft rivers are quite basic and thin, with you even struggling to fit a boat through easily sometimes. The Upstream mod will overhaul rivers, giving them all new terrain generation. Now rivers will stretch much further distances and also be a lot wider, making traveling by boat a viable option. Christmas layers will make some visual changes to some Minecraft mobs, making them look more festive. Now skeletons will have ornaments hanging from their ribs. Llamas and horses look a little more like reindeer, with them having signature red noses. Other changes include creepers having some glowing pixels to resemble lights, with snowman and enderman also being changed to fit the season. The Poison Sword mod will allow you to apply potion effects to your swords. You can do this by placing a potion in your offhand slot and press the M key while holding your sword. This won't apply the potion effects to your own character, but to whichever entity you hit instead, so only some potions will be useful. Some of the most useful potion effects to use would be poison, slowness, harming, and weakness. Effects will be applied to your sword forever, but you can only add one at a time. You can manually remove them instead by applying a bottle of water or an awkward potion to it instead. Useful bats will add a new loot bag to Minecraft, which is the Adventurer's Pouch. These pouches only drop from bats and can contain some very useful stuff. Interestingly, the loot that you receive will depend on the items you have equipped. The better the items you're wearing, the better the loot. You can see how good a pouch is by looking at its level by hovering over it. This mod also includes a few new items. The melon fork is an unbreakable weapon, but if you place a melon onto it inside a crafting table, it can be used to lure bats in the dark. The Enchanter Stone can be used to enchant any items in your offhand slot. Slimy Chunks adds a new item to your game, which is a slime chunk sensor. It can be crafted by combining 8 slime balls and a compass inside a crafting table. It's useful for finding slimes as a sensor will glow when you're in the right chunk. The Better End mod, which was originally for Fabric, now has a Forge version, although it's still a work in progress. The dimension is overhauled so that it looks a lot more magical, with the first change being the Void, which now has a purple glow. There's also 12 new biomes, which add dense forests, lakes, and crystal mountains, which really bring it all to life, and are visible on both the surface and below ground, which makes up new interesting caves. You'll also find new tools and armor, which are slightly stronger than netherite, and the models look great. There's new mobs, flora, and blocks, which are also great to build with. Overall, you can expect your end dimension to be completely transformed thanks to this mod. Dungeons mob is a large mod, adding a lot of the most well-known enemies from Minecraft Dungeons straight into your game. It's intended for you to use this mod alongside Dungeons gear, so that everything spawns wearing the correct armor and weapons. In the config files, you have plenty of options available so that you can control the spawn of these mobs. All of them look great, and the developer plans to continue with it to implement more bosses and any additions from future Minecraft Dungeons updates. Swords of the End will add 6 new swords to Minecraft. The Vampirical Blade will provide you with health when hitting enemies, and also give the absorption effect. The Yeet Cannon will launch mobs into the air, and also give movement effects when right-clicking. Everfrost freezes mobs in place. and will give increasing swimming effects when right-clicked. Hellsbane will set enemies on fire or launch a fireball as a special attack. Death gives a poison and wither effects, but also increased strength when right-clicked. Finally, there's the Ender, which deals increased damage against both the Enderman and Ender Dragon, and will fire Ender Pearls when right-clicked. HPX will add small health indicators onto all mobs in your Minecraft world. You'll see the amount of health they have, as well as a heart indicator which acts as a health bar. You can also see the amount of damage you deal per hit. Rotten Flesh to Leather is a simple mod which gives a new crafting recipe for leather. If you place rotten flesh inside a furnace, you can cook it to turn it into leather. Moon and Space Dimensions will allow you to send yourself up to the moon. Before doing so, you'll need to craft a protective spacesuit and make sure the helmet has been supplied with oxygen, which can all be done by creating oxide and placing it inside a life support generator. Travel to the moon by crafting a beamer base block and using an ender beamer while standing on top of it, although this will only work during the night when the moon aligns with the beamer base. It's recommended to bring a totem of undying or a potion of slow falling, just in case something goes wrong. From there, you can build a base on the moon and explore below the surface. Enchantment lore will add a bit of depth to your enchanted books in Minecraft. When holding a book, you can right-click it to open it. You'll be able to read about the max level of the enchantment, what it can be applied to, and what it does. But I also really like how there's a bit of lore and backstory about each enchantment. Monsters in the closet will make a very handy change when it comes to sleeping in beds. If there are monsters nearby and you can't sleep, then they will be highlighted through any walls so that you can find and remove them. If you've seen my previous videos, then you might already be aware of Christmas Spirit, which has recently been made available for Fabric. Firstly, your world generation will change so that every biome is frozen over. So it's recommended that you also install the custom texture pack, which will make any remaining green blocks white. This mod has a lot to offer, including baking items and decoration blocks. You can craft Christmas trees, which you can place ornaments, lights, and even your own items on. One of the biggest features is the Naughty or Nice list, where your behavior each day will determine which list you make it into. Each day you'll receive daily gifts which could contain something useful, or even just lumps of coal. If you do make it onto the Naughty list, then you can trade with Jack Frost, who will appear at midnight. He can take your lumps of coal in return for Frostborn ingots, which can be used to craft the new Frostborn armor set. That concludes this list. I hope you found some useful mods for your game. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe for my future content.